Have you ever sat down and wondered why, no matter how careful you are, your creatinine keeps rising? Why your energy fades faster, even though you've been trying to eat healthy? It's frustrating. And worse, it's confusing. You see, everyone tells you protein is important. They say it keeps your muscles strong, your immune system sharp, your body healed. And that's true. But here's what almost no one tells kidney patients. The wrong kind of protein can quietly destroy what little kidney function you have left. Yes, even the ones that are marketed as healthy. Even the ones your neighbor swears by. Even the ones you've eaten for years without realizing the damage. Because when your kidneys are damaged, they don't filter protein waste the way healthy kidneys do. And instead of giving your body strength, the wrong proteins leave behind toxins. Nitrogen, acid, phosphates. Things your body simply can't eliminate anymore. This hidden overload forces your kidneys to work overtime. And slowly, silently, they lose the fight. Urea builds up, creatinine climbs, swelling gets worse. Fatigue hits harder, and in the background, your kidneys edge closer to failure. I've seen it again and again in the last 15 years. Patients who were trying to eat right, unknowingly making it worse. Until we made one powerful change. We switched the type of protein, not just the amount. That's what David did. A 67-year-old man who came to me with rising creatinine, constant fatigue, and a fear that dialysis was just around the corner. But within weeks of adjusting his protein sources, without any medications, his energy returned. His creatinine stopped rising, and his doctor was shocked by the improvement. So today, I want to give you what worked for him, and for hundreds of others. I'll show you the 4 proteins your kidneys actually want. The 6 you must avoid at all costs. How to prepare them properly, how much to eat, and how to shop smart, without confusion. This could be the most important nutritional shift you ever make for your kidneys. So let's begin. And if this message resonates with you, like the video, share it with someone you love, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot more coming your way. Let's start with the protein that's earned the name gold standard. Egg whites. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't eggs bad for kidneys? Not quite. Because here's what most people miss. It's not the whole egg that helps your kidneys. It's the white. See, the yolk is loaded with phosphorus and cholesterol. 2 things kidney patients must avoid. But the egg white, that's pure, clean, high-quality protein. And not just any protein. Egg whites contain all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect balance your body needs. Doctors call this a biological value of 100. To put that in perspective, beef only scores around 80. Most plant proteins, 50 to 70. That means your body can absorb, use, and benefit from egg whites without overloading your kidneys. Here's why that matters. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down and produces something called nitrogenous waste. With healthy kidneys, that's no problem. But with damaged kidneys, that waste builds up, causing confusion, nausea, fatigue, and rising creatinine. Egg whites reduce that burden. Why? Because they're so efficiently absorbed, you need less of them to get the same benefit. Less protein eaten means less waste produced. Each egg white gives you around 3.6 grams of protein. With very low phosphorus, just 10 milligrams versus 86 milligrams in the yolk. And barely any sodium or fat. It's almost tailor-made for kidney patients. Now, how do you prepare them right? Simple. Avoid frying. Skip the butter and oil. Go for boiled or steamed. Try poaching with fresh herbs like dill or parsley. Mix them into oatmeal. Scramble them and add to wraps or stir-fries. And don't forget, avoid adding cheese or salty seasonings. These sneak in sodium and phosphorus your kidneys can't handle. If you're buying packaged egg whites, always read the label. Some contain phosphate preservatives or added sodium. Look for pasture-raised, organic egg whites for the highest quality. These often have more omega-3s and vitamin E, both of which fight inflammation. One of my patients, Margaret, was struggling with low albumin levels and chronic fatigue. After we swapped out red meat and added egg whites to her diet 4 times a week, her energy bounced back. And her blood work? Remarkably better. What about you? Have you tried egg whites in your kidney-friendly meals? What's your favorite way to cook them? Protein number 2, tofu, the surprising plant-based powerhouse. If you've always thought tofu was just for vegetarians, think again. Because for kidney patients, tofu can be an absolute game changer. If you choose the right type and prepare it the right way. Here's why. Tofu is one of the few plant-based proteins that gives your body all 9 essential amino acids, just like meat, eggs, or fish. But unlike meat, tofu is gentler on your kidneys. Half a cup of tofu gives you about 10 grams of protein, but with far less phosphorus than most animal proteins, around 120 milligrams compared to 200 to 300 mg in meat or fish. And here's something you might not know. It's not just the amount of phosphorus that matters. It's how your body absorbs it. In meat and dairy, phosphorus is absorbed very easily, up to 80%. In tofu, your body only absorbs around 30 to 40% of it, which means less strain on your kidneys. Even better, tofu contains powerful isoflavones and antioxidants that fight inflammation, which is a hidden enemy in kidney disease. And the way tofu is made, it's coagulated using calcium sulfate or magnesium chloride, not harmful phosphates. So every time you eat tofu, you're giving your kidneys clean protein with low waste, plus a natural anti-inflammatory boost. Now, how do you eat it without making it boring? Here's what I recommend. Start with firm tofu. Press it for 30 minutes to remove moisture, then marinate it in a mix of low-sodium vegetable broth, fresh ginger, garlic, and herbs like rosemary or basil. Then bake it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. The result: flavor-packed, kidney-safe protein. You can also try silken tofu in smoothies or mashed as a substitute for scrambled eggs. Portion-wise, half a cup, 2 to 3 times a week is perfect for most kidney patients. But beware, not all tofu is safe. Avoid pre-marinated or pre-packaged tofu with added MSG, high sodium, or phosphate preservatives. Always check the label. One of my patients, Anita, was skeptical at first, but once she tried baked tofu in her stir-fry, it became her go-to. Within weeks, her lab results showed reduced inflammation and better phosphorus control. So let me ask you, have you tried adding tofu to your meals yet? If not, maybe it's time. Protein number 3, tilapia, lean and low-phosphorus fish. Now let's talk about a protein that often flies under the radar, but could quietly support your kidneys more than you realize. Tilapia. It's not flashy. It doesn't have the fame of salmon or tuna. But for kidney patients, tilapia is a quiet protector. Here's why it matters. Every bite of protein your body digests leaves behind something: waste, acid, nitrogen, phosphorus. And the more waste, the more pressure on your already tired kidneys. But tilapia is different. In just 100 grams, it gives you 22 grams of protein, yet only 170 milligrams of phosphorus. That's a very favorable ratio. Some popular fish like salmon, they come packed with twice the phosphorus, even though the protein levels are nearly the same. What does that mean for you? It means tilapia offers what your body needs, without overburdening what your kidneys are trying to survive. There's more. Tilapia is rich in selenium, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect kidney cells. It's also high in vitamin B12, which supports energy, nerve health, and red blood cell production. And digestion. Tilapia is gentle. Its lean texture and mild taste make it easy on the stomach, and even easier to prepare. So, how should you cook it? Skip the frying. No breading. Instead, go for gentle methods that preserve nutrients and flavor. Steaming, baking, or the elegant and papillote method. Wrap the fillet in parchment paper with olive oil, fresh thyme, lemon slices, and bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes. The result: moist, flavorful fish without hidden salts, fats, or additives. Stick to 1 to 2 servings per week. Each serving, about 4 ounces. When buying, choose wild-caught or USDA-certified farm-raised. Check sourcing practices. Avoid fish raised in overcrowded farms or those treated with questionable feed. Tilapia may not get much attention, but for your kidneys, it's one of the most supportive proteins you can choose. Have you tried it yet? Protein number 4, quinoa, the complete grain. Now let's look at food that doesn't sound like a protein at all, but is quietly doing what even some meats can't. Quinoa. Yes, a grain, but not just any grain. Quinoa is one of the very few plant foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids. That makes it a complete protein, a rare find in the plant world. Just 1 cooked cup gives you 8 grams of clean protein, with lower phosphorus and potassium than most beans, lentils, or meats. Why is that important? Because kidney disease isn't just about removing waste. It's about balancing electrolytes, managing acid levels, and keeping the filtering process gentle and efficient. Quinoa checks all those boxes. Unlike red meat or processed protein, quinoa produces less nitrogenous waste. It also contains a unique amino acid called lysine, which helps your body absorb calcium and rebuild tissue, especially important if you're fighting muscle loss or recovering from inflammation. And there's more. Quinoa is high in fiber, which does something critical. It helps bind and flush out uremic toxins in your gut. Toxins that your damaged kidneys struggle to eliminate on their own. It's like a natural pressure relief valve, built into your food. But preparation matters. Quinoa has a bitter coating called saponins. If not rinsed thoroughly, it can cause stomach irritation. So always rinse it in a fine mesh strainer under cold water for 2 full minutes. Rub the grains gently until the water runs clear. Once cooked, it becomes incredibly versatile. You can enjoy it with steamed vegetables, add it to stir-fries, or serve it alongside baked tofu or grilled tilapia for a complete, kidney-friendly meal. Stick to 1/2 to 1 cup cooked per day. That's more than enough protein without overloading your system. And when buying, choose organic or pre-rinsed versions to avoid pesticide residues and bitter taste. Most people think of quinoa as a side dish, but for kidney patients, it might just be the main event your body has been missing. 6 proteins you should never touch. Let's begin with the first danger. Protein number 1, turkey bacon, the misleading meat. It looks lean. It sounds healthier. It even says light or low fat on the package. But don't let the label fool you. Turkey bacon is one of the most deceptive foods a kidney patient can eat. Yes, it has less fat than regular bacon. But what it doesn't say on the front of that shiny packaging is what's hiding inside. Sodium, phosphate preservatives, and a chemical burden your kidneys simply can't handle. Just 2 slices of turkey bacon can contain over 500 milligrams of sodium. That's more than 20% of your entire day's limit, in just a few bites. And for someone with kidney disease, that sodium doesn't just raise your blood pressure. It causes your body to retain fluid, which puts your heart under pressure, triggers swelling, and increases the risk of fluid overload, a silent threat that leads to emergency hospital visits. But sodium isn't the only danger. Turkey bacon is often loaded with phosphate additives, like sodium phosphate, potassium phosphate, and polyphosphates. These artificial phosphates are absorbed extremely fast. Up to 90% of them go straight into your bloodstream. That's almost triple the absorption of natural phosphorus from meat or plants. And guess what? These additives don't have to be listed clearly on every label. Sometimes they're buried in tiny print, or hidden behind chemical names most people can't even pronounce. This is what I call the health halo effect. It sounds healthy because it's turkey. But in reality, it's like setting a trap for your kidneys. One of my patients was eating turkey bacon every other day, thinking it was a safe swap. But her phosphorus levels kept climbing. Her parathyroid hormone went out of range, and her doctor couldn't figure out why. Until we cut the turkey bacon, within weeks, her labs stabilized. So here's the truth. Processed meat is processed damage. Avoid it, no matter what the label says. Now let me ask you, have you fallen for the turkey bacon myth too? Protein number 2, red lentils, the plant-based danger. Now, this one might surprise you. Because when you hear lentils, you probably think of something wholesome, natural, plant-based, and safe. But here's the shocking truth. Not all plant proteins are kidney-friendly. And red lentils, in particular, carry a hidden danger that many kidney patients don't see coming. Let me explain. A single cup of cooked red lentils gives you a hefty dose of potassium, over 700 milligrams. That's more than 1/3 of the entire daily limit for someone with kidney issues. At the same time, you're also getting over 350 milligrams of phosphorus. Now that might not sound like much, until you remember, your kidneys can't filter it out like they used to. So what happens? Potassium begins to build up, and that can lead to muscle weakness, irregular heartbeats, even cardiac arrest in extreme cases. At the same time, phosphorus overload causes calcification in your arteries, bone weakening, and further loss of kidney function. And red lentils, they don't come alone. They're often cooked with other high-potassium foods, tomatoes, spinach, coconut milk, all of which stack the potassium even higher. Even worse, red lentils are soft, tasty, and easy to overeat, which means you could be doubling or tripling your phosphorus and potassium intake without even realizing it. I've seen it happen with well-meaning patients, trying their best to go plant-based without understanding how minerals behave in damaged kidneys. One woman, Sarah, had switched to a vegetarian diet. Lots of red lentils, chickpeas, and vegetable soups. She felt virtuous until her potassium hit dangerous levels. Her doctor told her she was 1 point away from hospitalization. We swapped out the lentils, rebalanced her meals, and her potassium dropped back to safety. So let me be clear. Plant-based does not mean kidney safe. If you love lentils, stick to smaller portions. Limit to once a week, if at all. And always pair with low-potassium sides like cucumbers or white rice. Have you been eating red lentils, thinking they're harmless? It might be time to rethink that bowl. Protein number 3, hot dogs, the processed peril. Now, let's talk about something that hides in plain sight. Hot dogs. They show up at birthday parties, on the weekend grill, even as a quick meal option in many homes. But for someone with kidney disease, hot dogs are not just unhealthy, they are dangerous. Let's peel back the wrapper and see what's really inside. One hot dog may look small, but it's packed with sodium, nitrates, phosphates, and damaged fats. A cocktail that your kidneys were never meant to handle. the sodium alone, often over 600 milligrams in just one piece. Now imagine eating two. You've already blown past half your daily limit. And you haven't even added the bun, the ketchup, or the chips. But the real hidden threat: sodium nitrates. These are preservatives meant to keep the meat fresh. But once inside your body, they form compounds called nitrosamines, known carcinogens. And for a body with weakened kidneys, this adds an extra toxin burden, one your system simply can't flush out. Then come the oxidized fats, from low-quality meat scraps, overcooking, and high-heat processing. These fats trigger inflammation, worsen oxidative stress, and quietly eat away at your kidney cells over time. And we haven't even touched on the phosphate additives, used to enhance texture, shelf life, and color. These phosphates are absorbed fast and fully, raising your phosphorus levels quickly, which leads to calcium loss from your bones, arterial calcification, and faster kidney decline. One patient of mine, John, used to eat hot dogs twice a week, thinking, it's just meat, right? But his GFR kept slipping. His blood pressure was out of control, and his phosphorus was off the charts. When we cut out hot dogs completely, his blood pressure stabilized, his swelling reduced, and his labs stopped getting worse. Here's the truth. Hot dogs are not just protein. They're a toxic overload, especially for vulnerable kidneys. So next time you see one on a plate, pause and ask yourself, is this worth what it could cost me? Protein number 4, whey protein isolates, the concentrated burden. This next one is especially dangerous because it wears a fitness halo. You'll find it in health stores, in gym bags, in the cabinets of well-meaning patients trying to get strong again. It's called whey protein isolate. And on the surface, it seems perfect. Pure protein. No fat. No carbs. Just muscle fuel. But here's what nobody tells kidney patients. Whey protein isn't gentle. It's concentrated, fast-digesting, and packed with byproducts your kidneys struggle to remove. Let's break it down. One scoop, just one, can contain up to 25 grams of protein. That's equal to eating 4 to 6 ounces of meat in a single gulp. And with that protein comes a surge of nitrogen waste, urea, and yes, phosphorus. Your kidneys, they're left scrambling to clean up the aftermath. But with reduced function, that cleanup never fully happens. Instead, the toxins build up, quietly, dangerously. You might feel more tired after taking it. You might notice swelling, or see your creatinine creeping higher. And yet, no one connects it to that innocent scoop of protein powder. There's more. Whey protein lacks balancing nutrients like fiber, antioxidants, and magnesium. So your body gets a heavy load of one thing, without the support of others. And if you're taking it after workouts, that's when blood flow to your kidneys is already reduced. So you're pushing protein into your system at the exact moment your kidneys are least equipped to handle it. One of my clients, Daniel, was using whey isolate shakes every morning. He thought he was doing something good, but his urea levels shot up. His eGFR dropped in just 2 months. We removed the powder, switched to gentler sources like egg whites and quinoa, and his labs began improving, slowly but surely. So if you've been using protein powders thinking they'll help you rebuild, be careful. They might be doing the opposite. Kidney healing isn't about more protein. It's about the right kind, at the right pace, in the right form. Protein number 5, canned black beans, the hidden salt and potassium trap. They're plant-based. They're convenient. They're even labeled as heart-healthy in most grocery stores. But for someone with kidney problems, canned black beans can be a hidden danger, lurking in the background of soups, salads, and side dishes. Let's talk about why. First, black beans on their own are already high in potassium. 1 cup of canned, drained black beans can contain up to 600 milligrams of it. Now remember, if your kidneys are struggling, they can't clear potassium the way they used to. So even small overages can lead to dangerously high blood levels. And high potassium. It doesn't just cause fatigue or weakness. It can trigger irregular heartbeats, or worse. Second, the salt. Canned beans are soaked and stored in salty liquids to preserve shelf life. This isn't just a little sodium. It's often 400 to 500 milligrams per serving, before you even add seasoning. That's a double hit: potassium and sodium overload, both of which force your kidneys to retain fluid, struggle with blood pressure, and operate under constant stress. And the third issue: portion distortion. Most people don't eat half a cup. They pour beans into soups, stews, tacos, and end up consuming twice the salt and potassium they thought they were. But there's good news, if you're smart about it. Here's what I recommend. If you must use canned beans, always choose the low-sodium version. Then, pour them into a colander and rinse under cold water for 2 minutes. That alone can reduce up to 40% of the sodium. Better yet, soak and cook dried black beans yourself. You'll control the salt and reduce potassium by changing the water twice during soaking. One of my patients, Rosa, had no idea canned beans were hurting her. She thought they were clean food. But when we swapped to low-sodium, soaked dry beans just twice a week, her potassium stabilized, the swelling reduced, and her digestion even improved. So ask yourself, what kind of beans are sitting in your pantry? And more importantly, what are they doing to your kidneys? So now you know, protein isn't the enemy, but the wrong kind can silently push your kidneys toward failure. While the right kind, it can protect your function, ease your symptoms, and restore your energy. Let's quickly recap. Eat these 4 kidney-friendly proteins. Egg whites, clean, complete, and low in phosphorus. Tofu, gentle, anti-inflammatory, and plant-based. Tilapia, lean, low-phosphorus fish with essential nutrients. Quinoa, the only grain with complete protein, high fiber, and low toxin load. Avoid these 6 kidney-harming proteins. Turkey bacon, red lentils, hot dogs, whey protein isolate, canned black beans, and beef steak. All of them increase the waste, acid, or mineral load your kidneys can no longer filter. And don't forget the bonus habit: a simple morning walk, which boosts circulation, lowers blood pressure, and helps your kidneys filter more efficiently. Now it's your turn. Start small. Maybe swap 1 protein this week. Add a walk tomorrow morning. Little changes, done consistently, can shift your entire health path. If this video gave you clarity, hope, or something valuable, please hit like, leave a comment with your biggest takeaway, and subscribe for more kidney-protecting tips every week. Your kidneys are still fighting for you. Now it's time to fight for them. Before you go, here's something to think about. There's one common food almost every kidney patient overlooks. It's not a protein, but it quietly supports filtration, lowers creatinine, and reduces inflammation. And most people have it in their kitchen right now. In the next video, I'll reveal what it is, along with a simple 1-week kidney-safe meal plan that works. So if this helped you, tap like, leave a comment, and hit subscribe. Your kidneys deserve this next step.